Alan's sword drains all of his chi, leaving him utterly exhausted. The group finds a relatively safe spot to rest. Without a tent, they huddle together for warmth, relying on each other's body heat. They have been living this way for a month. Due to Alan's heightened sense of wind, he takes on the responsibility of night watch and meditation. His presence puts everyone at ease, knowing that with Alan on watch, they are safe. Arcane energy can be quickly replenished through meditation, but chi takes time to gather. Alan sits cross-legged on the cold ground, setting up a vortex around them to shield them from the freezing wind. His companions praise him for this, feeling grateful to have picked him up along their journey. Without him, they know they would be in much worse shape. In the middle of the night, Alan's senses pick up something unusual. He suddenly shouts, "Something's moving! Get up!" His warning jolts the others awake. "Ha ha! We found some sheep! Surround them, brothers!" A coarse voice cuts through the night, and soon a group of a dozen bandits, holding torches, surrounds Alan and his companions. It's clear they have encountered bandits who are here to steal their hard-earned arcane crystals. Beast Ridge is known for harboring bandits who rob adventurers. The group is in a precarious situation. Dan, holding his axe, asks nervously, "What should we do?" With only Dan and Alan capable of fighting, and Alan's chi depleted, they are at a severe disadvantage. The leader of the bandits, a bearded man, steps forward, wielding a shiny sword in one hand and a delicate bracelet on his left wrist. The bracelet is adorned with strange patterns that catch the light of the torches. Alan feels a vague sense of recognition when he looks at the bracelet but cannot remember where he's seen it before. "Don't resist," the bearded man says, his tone menacing but calm. "We just want your valuables. Hand them over, and we won't trouble you." The bald man in the group, unwilling to give up their hard-earned rewards, shouts defiantly, "Dream on. They've worked too hard for these crystals to simply hand them over to these thieves." The bearded man's expression shifts into a sneer. "Then don't blame us for what happens next. Attack!" he commands his men. "Wait," the captain of Alan's group interrupts, keeping his gaze steady on the bald man. "Give them the stuff," he says calmly. The bearded man looks pleased, clearly preferring to avoid a fight. He can see that Alan's group is comprised of warriors, but with their injuries and depleted chi, defeating them wouldn't pose much of a challenge. However, he also knows that fighting them could still result in unnecessary losses for his men. At that moment, a sudden gust of wind blows through the forest, scattering the torches. The bandits scramble to relight them, but many are extinguished. The bald man hesitates but finally pulls out the crystals tied to his body. He was entrusted with them because of his loyalty. He didn't let go of the unconscious black, even when he was severely injured. The group respected him for that and trusted him with their valuables. The bearded man opens the bag, carefully counting the crystals. "Is this all of it?" he asks, his eyes narrowing. The bald man clenches his fists, seething with frustration. "We worked ourselves to death for these, and now you want more?" he snaps. The bearded man ignores him and signals his men. "Search them," he orders. "If they cooperate, we'll all get back to sleep sooner." The bald man is ready to fight, but the captain shakes his head, stopping him. "Let them search. Staying alive is the most important thing," the captain says quietly. The bandits search each person cautiously, but find no additional valuables. Satisfied, they retreat with the stolen crystals. The bearded man looks over the group one last time, then turns to his men. "Let's go." As the bandits disappear into the forest, the bald man can barely contain his fury. "Why didn't the captain let me kill those bastards? We've worked so hard for over 3 months, and now it's all gone." "Forget it," the captain says, shaking his head. "Consider it a trial." Alan speaks up, raising his voice slightly. "We've lost everything. What are we supposed to do now?" The captain, following his lead, raises his voice as well. "We'll rest for now and figure something out tomorrow." At that moment, faint footsteps echo from the forest, gradually fading into the distance. The captain's expression softens as he looks around warily. "They're not stupid. If we had said anything wrong just now, they would have come back." The captain pulls a small bag from the bandage on his thigh. Inside are 10 crystals, hidden from the bandits. "I hid these while Alan used wind arcane," he explains. The bag they gave to the bandits only contained 4 crystals. Alan smiles subtly, remembering how he used arcane to create a disturbance during the encounter, helping the captain hide the remaining crystals. The bald man, realizing what just happened, almost bursts into laughter but holds back. His face turns red from the effort. Dan and Black chuckle as well, and even Red, who had initially wanted to fight, relaxes. With the remaining 10 crystals, the group presses on. The next day, they continue their journey, fortunately avoiding any further encounters with bandits. "Finally, we're back," Dan exclaims, his eyes lighting up as they approach the gates of Carding City. He's eager to find a warm bed and sleep for 3 days straight. The rest of the group shares his relief. They check into an inn and, for the first time in weeks, feel safe enough to let their guard down. Alan, who hasn't slept properly in days, forgoes his usual meditation and collapses into bed, falling into a deep sleep. When they wake, it's hard to tell how many days have passed. Their stomachs rumble, and they quickly head out to find food. After eating, they make their way to the Adventurers Guild to turn in their crystals. Carding City is larger and more prosperous than Silverglow, mainly due to its proximity to Beast Ridge, which attracts a steady stream of adventurers. The Adventurers Guild is located in the western part of the city, and the group heads straight there to complete their task. They hand over the 10 crystals to the guild administrator, receiving 100 gold coins in return. Though the reward is substantial, the group still faces the challenge of dealing with their injuries, particularly Black's severed arm. Carding City's doctors can only treat common ailments, so for serious injuries, the group seeks help from an arcane mage. Arcane mages capable of healing are usually high level, and their services come at a steep price. With the delay in treatment, they risk permanent damage if they don't act quickly. The group heads to the Arcane Guild in the city center, hoping to find a water-type arcane mage for healing. Though healing costs the mages little in terms of arcane energy, the fees are high, and the group's 100 gold coins are quickly depleted. The arcane mage in water-blue robes examines Black's injury. Severe injury and such a long delay? Only light arcane can fully heal this. The severed arm remains, correct? Regular arcane cannot regrow a new arm, he explains. Alan, recalling his studies on arcane, speaks up. Light arcane? Isn't that only possible for arcane mentors? Black, unwilling to give up on his arm, keeps it wrapped in cloth, hoping it can be reattached. The realization that they need light arcane complicates things significantly. The arcane mage quotes a price of 70 gold coins. It depends on whether the arcane mentor is available. They don't care about the fee, but whether they'll help depends on whether the guild leader consults with them, he adds. With almost all their gold gone, the group is grateful they didn't lose everything to the bandits. If they had, they wouldn't have been able to afford treatment at all. Black expresses his gratitude, knowing his comrades sacrificed their shares to pay for his treatment. Thank you, everyone. Don't mention it. We've been through life and death together. We don't care about the money, the bald man replies, clapping Black on the shoulder. The others nod in agreement. Each person contributes what they can, and after brief hesitation, they hand their remaining gold to the captain. In the end, they are bound by camaraderie, not gold.